everyone, my name's Rebecca. I'm a fish biologist, an ichthyologist and also a PhD student specialising and studying the evolution of fluorocarbon catfishes, which are also known as plecos in the aquarium trade. So this is going to be a quick video about adding these to your aquarium, which these are exceptionally big, but it's mainly just discussing different botanicals. So here I'm just rinsing it to remove any slugs, snails, etc. from the actual palm leaf. It's a bit awkward with one hand, but because the palm obviously is so big, just trimming it, manipulating the leaves just so it fits better in the tank and it aesthetically looks a bit better given the size of the tank and how big the palm is. So the next difficult thing is just really working out where to place it, allowing for the fish to be able to swim because the discus aren't exactly small fish, but also giving enough hiding places so it doesn't bother anyone. I don't want it just to be a background decor. I want the fishes to be able to interact with it. And then just deciding what to do with some spare, parts of the leaves, I guess, because I haven't actually used all of them, seeing that trim them down. So just work out what to do with placement. It's not really aesthetic, it's more just for the fish to interact with. So the final thing is, because I had so many leaves, I didn't want to put them all in that one tank. I did put a few in the other tank to give a bit more enrichment, so yeah, different surfaces, different textures, etc. So here's, one of the final products, and I'll show afterwards. The other one, it's not particularly rich in tannins. It did leach a little bit more later on, but it's just a different aesthetic, more enrichment. So here I'm just looking at how it's actually going to fit into the tank, if I need to trim it down, because obviously you can see it's quite a large palm. So what are these? So this is actually a frond of a Trachycarpus fortunei palm. So this is one of the largest but the most hardy palms in the UK. It's one of the big ones that you'll see around in people's gardens, botanical gardens, public spaces and stuff like that. But there's many other palms you'll see that you might want to think about adding to your aquarium. So common one, phoenix palm, date palms, and there's such a wide diversity of them. They're in the family Ariaceae, I believe, and they're not too distantly related to grasses, and I believe Zingiberraceae, which is true gingers, so they're the culinary gingers. I believe most of those groups are safe to actually use within an aquarium. I'm not entirely sure about ginger entirely. You can kind of see the similarity, especially with ginger and grasses, but these guys, even these fronds. So this is exceptionally large. So this tree is many feet, or I don't know how to many meters. So, and it's about 25 years old, so you can see the size of the fronds. And I've added most of the frond to this tank here and a little bit of leftovers to that tank there. And you can see a bit of tannin, so they're not meant to have that much tannic acid, but I don't really know. So I'm going to discuss just adding them to your aquarium, how to add them, and then maybe things to consider. So as you can see, like the size of it, this is a 200 litre tank, so it is a bit too much in a way. I did trim it down. But why might you want to add them? So a lot of people, I'll just pop that down there. So a lot of people might want to add sort of different botanicals for the blackwater look, and Although many different South American, Southeast Asian, African fishes do come from blackwater, not all, not a majority. It's a kind of a mixture sort of thing. So don't go assuming that because they're from soft water or South America that they enjoy blackwater. And blackwater maybe is a bit more complex whether they benefit from it if they're not from a blackwater habitat. Maybe if they just want a darker tank. But most of these fishes I keep are not blackwater, so the aim is not to create any sort of tannins. The other tank hasn't really gone yellow at all. This tank, it looks almost like I've treated it a bit. But the discus, most of them seem to be found in areas which do have higher tannins, but not all. I think that especially like the Rio Xingu discus, probably not. So why might you want to add it anyway? So a lot of these things, a lot of whether it be wood, rocks, etc., it doesn't have to be about creating that biotope. It can be just about creating that level of cover, some different enrichment, different textures, different things for the fish to interact with. And that's why I've really got these palm fronds in there. They're different sort of, well, whether they even produce much biofilms, but they're just different cover, different levels for the discus particularly, who is a little bit more difficult to get that sort of mid-level cover without using branches. So I've added, so these are sycamore branches, and I think that one's silver birch or birch. And I've added just different things to give different levels of cover and enrichment for the other fishes. And I'll probably talk about using fresh branches, and I mean fresh branches in the aquarium, things to consider another time. But palm trees are more or less entirely safe. They add a different level of cover, different textures. You can trim them down. They do seem to soften. These haven't been added for long, but even then they're not as rigid as they once were. And I actually, if you think about blackwater, I prefer using wood, larger seed pods, palm fronds. I don't like using leaves particularly because if you're siphoning, and you don't always need to siphon, and if it's a low stocked blackwater tank you don't really need to, but I just prefer not to have the siphon constantly blocked by leaves, alder cones, etc. And it depends on the fish you're keeping. Many fish do benefit from that deep leaf litter and maybe accommodating the tank stocking and the tank design according to that. But none of mine are actually fishes that really deal with leaf litter or would benefit entirely from it, opposed to actually having a good sand level, which is really sparse in that area because she shoves it out of the way. But anyway, I'm going to end this video here. It's only a quick one just to discuss the topic. If you like my videos, please comment, like and subscribe, and I'll do other videos in the future. Anyway, thank you for watching.